Hey y'all, welcome back to New Women Web TV, where it is here. We do keep you in the how to be a new you. So today, I know y'all recognize this lady because you've seen her. I'll give you a clue.
I love it. I love it.
That's my speed shot.
No, I see. I see.
No, hold on. Look at this. Look. That's better, ain't it? I know y'all know this is Chef Marlene. She is our resident culinary guru. And today we're having our little sit down talk so you can get to know her a little bit more personally, a little bit more intimate. Intimate? Yeah.
Yeah, intimate's a good word.
Intimate's a good word.
Transparent.
She's the smarty pants.
No, sorry. Okay, fine, sorry.
So, Chef Marlene, I will let you tell everyone a little bit about you, your business, and what it is that you do.
All right, so I am Chef Marlene. I have a catering business based out in McKinney, Texas. I kind of consider myself to be a boutique caterer. I love to customize menus for my clients. I love to do food staging and decor, really to highlight and accentuate any menu that we create. Accentuate. Recently, I started doing online cooking classes, and so I've got Her Kitchen is the name. It's an online cooking experience where I really do try to focus on busy moms. You know, mompreneurs, busy mom. I'm a mompreneur. I'm a busy mom. I've got 3 girls. I'm married. So life can get a little crazy. So every now and again, I want to chop it up and cook with my girls. And so Her Kitchen was birthed out of just the desire to connect with other moms and to help kind of rejuvenate the kitchen, right? We've been home on COVID and quarantine, so everybody's cooking.
What does that mean, rejuvenate the kitchen?
You know, I've always felt that we're in a world where everything is fast. Everything is microwavable. Everything just needs to be quick and in a hurry. And I don't know about you guys, but I grew up where my grandmoms cooked. We had Sunday dinner. My mom cooked. My dad didn't cook that often, but we had meals, family meals at home. And so when I talk about rejuvenating the kitchen, I'm really speaking to bringing back the essence of family meals, right? Bringing back the true joy of cooking. Obviously, I'm not Julia Child, but just bringing back the joy of, the joy of cooking.
This is the, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really, you know, what that experience is all about. That was a new experience that really came to life during COVID. I'm sure we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And I've got some other new things that I'm gonna be rolling out soon. But for the most part, just really focused on catering to clients, really giving them a full food experience. And then doing these cooking classes. And I don't even call them cooking classes because I feel like everybody says cooking classes. They are cooking experiences. They are online cooking experiences.
I need class.
Yeah, listen, come on, you can do it with me.
So, okay, let's talk about your journey. Okay, let's talk about how you got started. Like, I'm sure you cooked for quite some time. This wasn't just, you know, a whimsical, I think I'm gonna get up and make me a meal and start, catering for the world type of experience.
I agree.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, like what your inspiration was. How does cooking, affect you as a person?
Yeah, so, I will say that I was cooking as a child. I spent a lot of time in the kitchen with my grandmothers. I grew up in a household where, as I said, we cooked. We had family meals all the time. I didn't realize that I wanted to be a chef until later on in life. I had gone to school for journalism. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I had so many different paths that I thought I was going to go down. I was in the fashion world for a minute.
I
had those
for those of y'all who don't, I've known this lady for some years. I've never heard this part.
No.
So this is interesting.
Oh, actually, yeah. So I have gone down several paths. But it wasn't until I think I was in my later years of college that I said, you know what? There were some things that had happened. We're not going to talk about that today, though.
Not today.
There were some things that had happened that made me say, you know what? Go ahead and pursue the culinary. And so for many years, I obviously cooked at home, and it just evolved over time. I was cooking for families, cooking for friends. And then obviously I moved here to Texas. So I'm not originally from Texas. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Why do people from New York? I'm not from
I'm
here.
not from here.
I'm from New York. Like,
no, let me tell you, Texas is beautiful. Texas is wonderful. But I love my hometown, Brooklyn, New York. I do. So you're talking about, someone born in the Northeast from Brooklyn, over a course of time ended up here in Texas. And it was here in Texas that I really felt like, you know what, it's really time to get this business going. In a lot of ways, God pulled me away from everything that I knew back home in New Jersey and in New York and brought me here. And we've been having many conversations. One that included, listen, I need you to take this up a notch. I need you to step out there and really bring to the marketplace your gift, the one that he gave me, right? That he's been developing for many, many years. I brought it here to Texas, and things have just been amazing.
Booming.
Amazing. I won't say booming.
I'm going to say booming.
And that's because I find it so difficult to use those extra positive words. But anyways, it's good.
It's booming.
It's booming. Yes.
It's booming.
Claim it.
So, part of the reasons that we do these Sister Sit-Downs is to help empower the women who are kind of putting themselves out there to start their business. And one thing that you said that really just kind of struck resonate, that's the college word, resonated with me, is that you're a multi-passionate person. And if you go with status quo, people tell you got to pick one thing, stay in this, do that, and then you're stuck feeling like, okay, I'm like the most indecisive person, because part of your journey is really learning who you are. Because we take on so many different sometimes personalities or other people's expectations or ideals of what success is supposed to look like. And so talk to me a little bit about how you kind of press through that emotionally and just making a decision to be you.
That's really good. That's a really good question. As I said, moving here to Texas was the catalyst, the change agent, if you will, that made me begin to really understand me as a person. Me as a person. I was groomed in corporate America. I worked in corporate America for many, many years.
And she was good at it. She's a director.
And so,
she's my boss.
You know what? I think being in corporate America, and for those of you who work in corporate America, no offense, and I don't want my comments to be derogatory, but you take on that face, right? You take on that identity. You take on that, that because there's a certain polish, there's a certain language, there's a certain just culture that exists in corporate America. And so for many years, I really believe that was who I was. Like, I'm corporate, I'm going to be the VP, and and as the years have gone on, I felt like there's somebody inside of here that's saying, no, this is not who you are. You really are someone else. And so when you talk about the journey, the last 4 years in particular have been really interesting. I've been here in Texas for 4 years, and the process, God's been speaking to me since I got here. And so I am beginning to understand more of who I am. I am becoming much more comfortable in communicating and connecting, and so I'm very excited about where I am today. A lot of things have been uncovered emotionally, spiritually, and I think we're just beginning. And I think the manifestation of just being allowed and being given permission to be you.
That's a big word. That's real big. Permission.
Yes, like it's okay to be me. Right?
And the biggest thing is that I think, and for me as well, like I've looked for validation in so many things, whether it was an occupation, and don't get me wrong, like I'm a science head, so I love all things medicine, all things health, all things beauty that relates to science.
I get it.
And so I was just like, the prestige that would come with doctor in front of my name, and not just that, because I love the work, I love that itself, but essentially how I connected with people wasn't always that. It's like a healing component to it, but not so much, okay, let me come in, cut you open, give you a pill, fix you up. Like, it was more so in, okay, let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Let me share my heart. You share your heart.
Yeah.
And let's hear what, God's going to speak through both of us type thing. So tell me a little bit about how that step to step process of how you kind of answered that call, because obviously, like you said, there was a person on the inside. It was like an echo, like, I'm over here. Come over here.
That's the best way to say it.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So like, how did you remove the mask? If I can say that.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to say it. So I can recall, as we're talking, there being a woman who I met very recently. And when I say recent, within the last year.
Okay.
Someone that I met here at our local church. And I remember she said, let's go to breakfast. We were on a ministry team together, working through, something completely different. And she said, let's go to breakfast, because, she wanted to talk with me and everything. And during this conversation, I felt like this woman read me. I felt like, and they say when someone reads you, it kind of has a negative connotation. No, this wasn't a negative connotation. It was almost like, you remember the story of Jesus and the Samaritan woman?
Oh, how he told her all of this.
So I felt like this person was Jesus, and I say that carefully, because Jesus is only Jesus. But in the context, it was like I was the Samaritan woman and she was Jesus, and she was just telling me all about me. And the whole conversation was about what you just said, this mask. The fact that I needed to, that God was making it and had made it very clear that it was time to take it off. That this is not who you are. We all can see who you are, but you just need to be okay with who you are. And so her and I had many conversations about this very thing. And so, when you talk about how did I answer the call, it was really just submitting and allowing myself to receive what was being said to me. You know me very well. I can be interesting, and so
that's a good word for it. But it's okay, it's no shade, because we're alive.
I thought this was a safe space, so I'm trusting you. It's a safe space. And so I know that I can be pretty interesting at times, and a part of this process is to allow myself to receive from others. Listen to what they're saying to me. Everybody's not out here to hurt me. Everybody's not out here to come and get me. There really are some good people out here in the world that really do see the bright light in you.
Oh Lord. Okay, so you are just like
the gift,
digging real deep right now. Like this is a dig moment, because it's really sometimes, and this kind of segue into faith, because faith teaches us to expect the good, even sometimes when bad is present or in the environment. So really flipping the expectation to say, hey, life can be different.
Yeah.
And, for so many of us, we've had story after story, disappointment after disappointment, rejection or hurt or, whatever, failure. And it's like, I'm afraid to start again because I don't want to I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be shamed. I'm sick of, there was this joke, me and my pastor go, I'm so tired of looking crazy, God. Like, like we literally be like, I don't want it. I'm so sick of looking stupid. Gosh. No one wants to feel like I'm a failure.
I agree.
And people have a hard time stepping out and flipping the role of expectation and not so much in themselves, but even putting it into God himself, like saying, even though you've been here the whole time, I didn't think you were here the whole time because some bad stuff could have happened. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is how it has to remain.
Yeah. As you're talking, I'm reminded of yet another scripture about, there's nothing that could separate you from God's love, right? And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is because when you talk about faith, because that's what it is now. Now it's like, I grew up in the church. I've been in church all my life. But there are certain moments in my journey of being a Christian, and I say air quotes because there were certain moments when I don't think I really was a Christian. I think I was just claiming it and saying it, but wasn't really living it. Yeah. In this phase, in this season of my life, when we're talking about taking off the mask, I am challenged to the core to believe more intently, have faith more intently about the very thing that I've been saying all these years. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, in order for me to be comfortable taking the mask off, I have to trust the Savior that I gave my life to. And so that's really the core of the faith, is to believe the very one that you say is your Lord and Savior, right? I don't think I'd be able to really, and I'm doing my best, but I don't think I'd be able to really share what really has been happening with me in particular, since you've asked over the last, I don't even think I could, because there's just so much to it. And we all have a story.
Right.
We all have so many layers to us that we could write books. We could write books about this very thing, about taking off the mask and what that process looks like. But at the core of it, at least for me, is I am now challenged with really walking out the very thing that I've been saying, reading about for years. So, but yeah, so I mean, that's the thing. It's really about believing what I'm reading, believing who I'm praying to, believing who I'm talking to, and allowing that connection and his presence to really work through me and help me be the very person that at the end of the day he's called me to be.
Right. And even as you were saying that, like, the scripture that popped up in my spirit was, it's Hebrews, I believe it's chapter 11, where he talks about those that that come to God must first believe that he is God, who he says he is, and that something good is going to come from that faith, So even as we start about faith, one of the questions that I really had that I wanted you to answer for everyone was, what was your faith strategy? Because, everyone knows, I think, when you come out of your comfort zone or you're challenged to do something new, something different, there are going to be challenges. Like, so we already have an expectation of the challenges, but sometimes those challenges get so challenging. You're like, wait a minute, like, what was I thinking? So what did you use? What strategy did you use to keep your faith intact? I guess you would say, to keep you focused and progressing towards, what God spoke to you.
I think that's a great question. The main thing was just being committed to spending time with him every day. No fluffy stuff, guys. My husband will tell you. I'm up 5 a.m. every day, most days, because there are days when I am tired. But I'm up most days.
That seems like it should be it. I've been with this woman all week, and I'm just like, where is she getting this energy?
Listen, I'm up early because for me, especially now, I gotta have that connection. I gotta talk to my Father. We've got to have an exchange, and not just that, but also learning how to be comfortable talking to him, not just at the 5 a.m. devotion.
All day
long, praying before conversations, walking into meetings, and just, God, give me the words to say. Again, no fluffy stuff, folks. Really thinking about how Jesus walked the earth when he was here, and how often he took time to go and talk to God. And so it starts out, at least for me, my strategy starts out with that daily devotion. It also includes taking time to connect with those around me. I mentioned about realizing that everybody's not out to get me. Right. Really learning to be comfortable and accepting those around me, so that I could just really be okay being transparent. So just connecting with community more often. So talking to God, talking to people.
Essentially being open. Being very open.
And it's a process. I mean, I consider and this is going to sound really crazy, I do consider myself to be an introvert, believe it or not. You probably can't tell from all this. But I'm telling you, there are some introvertness. Is that a word? If it's not,
it's okay. I make words up all the time.
So there is an introvert here, and that introvert, every now and again just wants to be in the corner, be by themselves, isolate, and not connect,
not be bothered.
But there's something important and necessary about connecting with others that helps to, how do I want to say? It just helps to bring about the change that you really desperately want. And I desperately wanted to change. Okay,
let's stick here for a second, because what you just said is golden. Because so many people are like, I really want to change, but it's so hard. And you always hear the but. And this is something my pastor always teaches. Like, when you're desperate, you don't care about the method that God uses. It may be uncomfortable. You might be like, oh, this is killing me. But you're sticking in there because you're desperate for that change. You don't mind somebody being like, let me tell you about yourself real quick. I love you though. Let's go get something to eat. And you not be mad for 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I'll be like, oh, okay. And I cannot stand her. But you get to the point where it's okay. And it's okay for you to see my flaw, and it's okay. And I'm okay with you to see the ugly, not so much put together side of me, so I can just get out of this hump. Because I'm so sick of the hump that something just got you.
And along with that, I think you and I were talking about this over dinner the other day, the importance of being okay when you really do feel pain, hurt, or any sort of emotion. You've got to be okay. What I mean by that is, when you're feeling, if you say something to me and I get upset, it's okay for me to be upset. But then I need to understand, well, what am I upset about? Right. Don't gloss it over. Right. Don't try to just put it in the past or just muscle it. No, you really need to understand what is it? Right. And then learn from it. And I can't say it enough, but taking it to God too in prayer and saying, hey, I'm really feeling this thing. Can you help me understand where it's coming from? And allowing, again, the connection with that person, again, including God in it, allowing it to really help you understand more about you. Because at the end of the day, all that's happening is a better you. A better you is coming out of all of this. So we have to learn, in my opinion, you got to learn how to embrace your mess. Embrace your
pain.
Embrace your emotion. Embrace it. It's okay. And find some folks that you're okay talking to. About important. These sort of things.
That's important.
Right?
Because even though God is like the best resource, we are still people. Humans. We are in this here body.
And he will many times send you to someone or send someone to you to help you through it. So
that was good. Feel it.
I do. I really do. I really do. This is great stuff. Really good stuff.
So what truths, I guess you would say, you found out about yourself, like in the I know.
Today?
Ooh,
okay, yes. Just it's all right.
Maybe today? Okay.
No. Go ahead. You can go ahead. Yes.
I'm gonna do it. So what truths did you find out about yourself through this process? And this is a systematic question that I generally ask everyone, because I found that even within myself, that even as God calls you to kind of step out and to do this thing, you find out stuff about yourself. You was like, I didn't know that was there.
So I think one of the truths I found out about myself is that I am vulnerable. I can be very vulnerable at times. My exterior is one of I feel like I exude confidence and I can walk into a room and just, command the room. And one of the things that I learned in this process is that there are times when I'm not that confident. I'm not, and I'll muscle it. I mentioned muscling it a little while ago, but there are times where I can recall, like I did it in my own strength. I did it in my own strength. And what I thought was confidence really was arrogance, really was pride.
Wow.
And so I'm beginning to understand that it's all right for me to be transparent. It's all right for me to just, not feel that confident that at times, and then here's the other thing, and then allow this is so good through communication and conversation with others, allow folks to speak into that and to really help you heal. So there are, I could sit here for days and tell you some of the truths that I learned about myself, but I think that's the one that stands out the most, is just really saying, don't try to muscle everything. Learn how to lean on others. It's all right to ask for help, right? It's all right to not have to be the only one, the smartest one in the room. I can recall my pastor back in New York. He would say many, many times, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need a new group. And I say, it's all right to not be the smartest one in the group, because there's just so much you can learn from other people. But again, in my case, if you walk around with a lot of just, I got this. And there's reason for why I believe I was behaving that way. And some of it's from childhood and things like that. But yeah, it's all right to be, vulnerable. It really is.
That's, I guess that's a curse word.
No, it is. It can be, especially for independent women to say out loud that you're, oh, no, no.
No, I'm not. I'm okay. I don't feel no kind of way.
Listen.
Why your neck is doing this the whole time.
You are not okay. And it's all right.
I am.
It's okay.
Oh man. We both like
you,
that one. Oh.
It's maturity, and it's not maturity that you're going to gain all on your own. It's not. You're not going to gain it all on your own. You definitely need people around you.
Bad.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let me move on for I cry.
Please don't cry. No.
So, tell me what love has got to do with your business.
Oh, all right. So that's easy.
Okay.
I got all warm and fuzzy inside when you asked that. So to me, food is love. Food is a great way to connect with people. I've been talking a lot about the importance of talking to others and finding others and leaning on others. And in a lot of ways, food is the avenue to do just that.
Yes, it is. I love to connect.
Listen. So, through this journey of cooking for others, I am learning, because I can't say I have learned. I am learning really what it means to connect with people in a way that everybody's got to eat. Right? Everybody's got to eat. But really cooking is a way for me to really share my love for not just food, but for just wanting to be around people. I love entertaining. My husband and I, we entertain quite often. Obviously not a whole lot now because of COVID, but we entertain a lot.
No, I'm just joking. I'm sorry.
But it's just, and then to serve someone a meal and to have them just enjoy it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting there staring at folks while they're eating. I'm not. But to see and to watch the crowd just really enjoy what they're eating. And then I mentioned to you about the staging and the decor. That just adds to the experience. It just, you eat with your eyes first. That's true. So, visually, you want the experience to be just as amazing as what they're putting in their mouth. And so, and then now with this new venture of Her Kitchen and connecting with moms and busy moms, oh my gosh, I feel like God placed yet another burden, if you will, and burden not in a negative way, but a burden for other moms that might feel like, cooking is a chore, like, oh, I got to feed these kids and it's just like, no, that's a way to connect with your kids. That's a way to connect with your spouse. It's a way to connect with your family. Let's talk about that, right? Let's do that. Let's cook a meal together and really bring back the essence of family meals.
So you can help me, because I have this question that has to do with everything of what you just said.
Okay.
I'm generally I love to cook as well, and I'm pretty good at it, if I say so myself.
I've seen your work.
Yeah. See, no. But but I'm the chef person that everybody get out of my kitchen. For me, it would be just a whole new paradigm shift of, I think, of accepting the help. Like what we were talking about earlier. I'm like, no, and it's the whole control freak. Like, no, because it has to be this way and it has to be chopped, and then it's turned. No, you're gonna mess it the whole thing. You're gonna mess up my meal because I like to me, food is an expression of, hey, I care. Yeah. I put work into this. I put time, and I try to make it look pretty, and all of this. So this is my way of showing you I love you, but I want to show you I love you without flaw.
Yeah, I agree, and to be honest with you, that's still something that I think I'm challenged with. Is that need to do it myself, make it perfect. I'm still working through that, but I'll tell you this: I've recently been engaging in some activities where I am like this whole teaching thing, and then I'm volunteering and whatnot, and being in those settings really are helping to break that cycle, if you will, or that habit, or whatever you want to call it.
Or the perfection.
Just like feeling like everything just now, don't get me wrong. Your brand is your brand, and you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward with your brand. So I'm not saying just give up everything on presentation and just I just love doing this. No. But there's got to be balance.
Like the cafeteria.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
it,
No, we're not.
put it on
We're
your
not
plate.
just. We're not just taking ice cream scoops in. No, there's still there. You don't want to lose the essence of who you are, because truly that's who you are.
Yeah.
However, I've got to learn how to balance that.
Mm.
We've got to learn how to balance that, and so sometimes it takes being put in environments that will make us feel a little uncomfortable to help just break that, to help just shed that a little bit. But I understand completely. My husband makes jokes about, I won't say what he calls me, and it's nothing, no bad words.
It's a chef that's known on television.
Yes.
That make people want to pull out their hair.
You know, I'm being real transparent right now. My husband will say that I have those tendencies, and it's not because I want to hurt anybody or anything like that. Trust me, I'm not using those words. It's not, but it's just because you want that level of excellence, excuse me, to really shine, to really come through. But you know, influence is a big deal, and after a while, you begin to understand that you can share your talents with others in such a way that they actually learn, like they need to learn from what you're doing, right? So, you know, you can lay off the, well, here I'll say it like this. There are certain times when I will not allow someone in the kitchen because of a particular event that I'm putting on. So I'm looking for a certain skill set and different things like that. There are other times when I don't mind the kids being in the kitchen with me, because that's what this time is for. So when you're in the business of food, you really do have to learn how to balance, because there are going to be times when you need to say, okay, I need this space because this is what I'm working on. And then there are other times when, come on in, let's just have a blast, right? So you've got to learn that. I'm not going to say, well, just let everybody in the kitchen.
Time for
everything. There really is. I mean, you've just got to know that and work with it.
So last thing, how would you inspire or encourage someone who's looking to break into the culinary world, catering, whether it's personal chef, you know, just come into what you do, your specialty, who maybe has never done it before, and especially who maybe feels like they're starting a little late. And like, you know, this is not what my original plan was, just like you said. You know, you start off in a couple of other things, and you was like, you know what, just I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna really do this. You know, sorry, my country. I'm gonna do this.
It's okay.
But it's not. It sure is. But so, what would you say to maybe all the ladies out here who are saying, you know, I've dreamed of being a chef. I've dreamed of being on Food Network. Like this one is gonna be on Food Network. I keep speaking it. Yeah. She's gonna be on Chopped. Or something where it's like the judge is like, you know, this is great, but it needs more salt. But so what would you say to kind of help them, I guess, get over the hurdle of, I guess, essentially getting out of their own way?
You know, find someone that you admire and just watch them. So if it's someone that's a celebrity chef or someone on TV that you can't actually touch, go and follow them on social media. Learn a little bit about their style and just watch what they do, right? If it's someone that you know that's a chef, go and knock on their door or send them a text or something and say, hey, you know, I really like what you're doing. Is there any way that I could connect with you and maybe learn a little bit? Maybe you flat out ask them, can you be my mentor? Right? But just kind of surround yourself and or find some inspiration first, right? Understand, is this something that you really want to do? Right? Because there's a difference between and we were talking about this earlier. There's a difference between a hobby and a business, and there's also a difference between, do you want the name chef or do you want the lifestyle chef, right? And that's just because because let me tell you, being a chef, and for all you chefs out there, whether professional or home cooks, it's work.
Hard work.
It is work.
Hard work.
It's long hours. It's nights and weekends.
The standing up.
You listen for many hours, and I'll tell you, you know, we talked a little bit about feeling like you're late to the game, but the reality is, you know, I really do believe my corporate background, there's a lot of things that I learned from my corporate background that I'm bringing into this business and have brought into this business that was so necessary. And so nothing is wasted. Nothing is for nothing. Like there's not an experience that you've had that can't be incorporated into this thing. But you got to know that you want to do this, and you got to know that you want to do it for the right reasons. Don't get into this business if you want the name and the fame, and because let me tell you, it takes time. It takes time. I have not even arrived yet, but I believe that, You all right over there?
I'm sorry. I need to, excuse me.
I believe that the passion is there. As long as the passion is there, as long as you believe in your heart that this is what you should be doing, go for it. Find some folks that you admire, get some books, take a class. Don't feel like you have to go to the top of the line school. I mean, that's all great. That's all well and good to seek out a high-end school and learn some things. I mean, if you see my background, I didn't go to the top school. I went to culinary school because I wanted to learn just the technical aspect of cooking. I already knew how to cook. I learned it from, those around me. But just educate yourself, find someone that you admire, and just understand if this is really something that you want to do. Because if it is, come on. And if you're in Texas, come on. Find me.
Oh my gosh, I know we have to wrap up because I know we have to wrap it up, but there's what you just, that last little nugget.
Oh gosh.
That last little nugget of what you just said as far as the expectation and the time factor. Yeah. Because a lot of people have a dream and they expect the dream overnight.
Yeah.
And then there, there
was one of them.
You and me both.
Yes.
You and me both. But most of the people who are successful in any industry, there's two main things. They've not done it alone. They've had someone to help them. No one becomes a success alone.
Agreed.
And two, it took them time to develop the skill set that made them who they are,
and the character,
and to the
Let's
oh my
gosh,
that out. I can't even get the words out. Like, I mean, to the point literally where some people were sleeping in cars, they were homeless, they were doing, it was so much that God used to pressurize, to just put you in certain situations in time, extended, amounts and bouts of time to make sure that you were just right. Like, what is it, the three bears? Goldilocks.
Yeah, Goldilocks, yeah.
And the three bears, you weren't too hot,
you're not too hot.
You were just right, ready for that opportunity, and okay, that's a whole
nother
video.
My goodness.
I know it's been so good. We might have to do a part 2.
Yeah, well, listen.
So, Chef Marlene, tell people out there where they can find you if they're looking for a catered event, a drop-off meal, personal chef. How can they reach you?
Well, I'm all over social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Pinterest. You could find me at www.knifeandfaulk, FAULK.com.
Not the curse word.
No cuss words here. On Facebook and the other social media platforms, just find me simple as Knife and Faulk. And just, I'm here. Listen, I'm here.
Yes. And I'll definitely put her information down below in the description area. So if you are in the Dallas, McKinney, Fresco, Plano,
Prosper, Salina, and they're just the Dallas Fort Worth area.
And you are looking for somebody to whip you up something special, and it is something special. Thank you, Jesus. But come and support Miss Marlene here. We want to give a special thanks for her and her time today.
No problem.
It's my friend.
Aw, you're my friend too, girl.
Girl, you're my sister, girl. Okay. But thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you and your time. Remember, here at New Woman Network, we are love, truth, and we are committed to change, helping you to be the best you that you can possibly be. You have a wonderful afternoon, a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again very, very soon.